This is 2018 paper 1. Question 1 is saying find the value of x to the power 0 times 2 to the power 3. This is similar to 2019. The question is almost the same. So we know that any base a to the power 0 is equals to 1. So if we multiply 2 by itself 3 times, we are going to get 8. 1 times 8 will give us 8. Question 2 is saying factorize completely. We have 18 minus 2x squared. What is common between 18 and negative 2? We are going to put our 2. What are we supposed to multiply with 2 to get 18? 9. What are we supposed to multiply with 2 to get negative 2x squared? Negative x squared. Now, when you look at this 9, you find that this is a perfect square number. 3 squared is 9. We can always express this in power form by saying 3 squared. And then we know that this will give us a difference of 2 squares. When you have a difference of 2 squares, get the sum of the bases times the difference of the bases, or the difference of the bases times the sum of the bases. Let's do that. So we are going to express 9 in power form. It's the same as 3 squared. We'll get the difference of the bases times the sum of the bases. That is our answer. Question 3. Z is a point negative 1, 8, and M is a point 2, 12. Find the magnitude of the vector Zm. Now, when you are asked to find the magnitude is the same as the distance. So what we are supposed to do is to get the difference in the x squared and then get the difference in the y. So we are going to call this one x1. We'll call that one y1. We'll call this x2, and then we'll call that y2. So we'll say 2 minus negative 1 and 12 minus 8. Let's do that. Now, when you have a minus and a negative, it's the same as plus. So that is the same as 2 plus 1, which is going to give us a 3. So we have 3 squared plus subtract 12 minus 8, you get 4 squared. If you multiply 3 by itself twice, you're going to get a 9. Multiply 4 by itself twice, you get a 16. So we have 9 plus 16. The square root of 9 plus 16 is the square root of 25. Which number are we supposed to multiply by itself twice to get 25? 5. Therefore, the magnitude was 5. We continue. Use set notation to describe the shaded region in the diagram below. That is our shaded region. Now, E looks at all the elements under discussion. That is our Venn diagram. We've been given that set A, we've been given B, and we've been given set C. B and C are subsets of set A because they are found inside set A. Now, they are saying use set notation. If you look at this region, you find that this is the region B union C, but the shaded region is outside. So we are saying B union C complement means outside, but in A, inside A. So this set notation will be B union C complement intersection A. So we have B union C, elements in B and C, but outside, found in A. So when you describe that region, it will be B union C complement intersection A. We continue. Floyd had 125 shares in a company. At the end of the financial year, the company declared a dividend of 3 kwacha per share. How much was due to Floyd? Now, this one is a direct proportion, and the word dividend means a profit. So, Floyd had 125 shares. For every share, there was a profit of 3 kwacha. What are we supposed to do? We are supposed to multiply. So the total amount due to Floyd was 125 of the shares times the profit for each share. So Floyd got 375 kwacha. We continue. Question 5 is saying a cylinder with diameter 2 centimeters has a volume of 5 cubic centimeters. Find the volume of a similar cylinder with diameter 8 centimeters. So we'll start with the diameters first. We'll find the ratio of the diameters and then take it to its lowest terms. So the ratio of the diameters was 2 to 8, which is the same as 1 to 4. Now, the ratio of the volumes is supposed to be A cubed to B cubed. So we are going to cube this 1 and we'll cube that 4, meaning multiply 1 by itself 3 times, multiply 4 by itself 3 times. So the ratio of the volumes was 1 to 64. If you multiply 4 by itself 3 times, you get a 64. The volume of the smaller cylinder has been given, which is 5. We don't know the volume of the larger cylinder. So we are going to say 1 over 64 is equals to, this one is a direct proportion. So where there's the smaller volume or the smaller ratio, you put on top. For the larger one, we don't know, so we'll put x. From here, what are we supposed to do? We'll cross multiply. If you multiply 1 times x, you get 1x. Multiply 64 times 5, you get 320. Therefore, the volume of the larger cylinder was 320 cubic centimeters. We continue. Question 7a is saying the Venn diagram below shows sets A and B. List A complement intersection B. So when they say A complement, they are saying those elements that are not found in set A. So A complement are the elements 2, 4, 7, and 8. Now they want us to find those outside A but in B. So we are going to get a 4. But before we do that, we'll take it step by step. Set A has elements 1, 3, 5, 6, and 9. A complement, those that do not belong to A, are 2, 4, 7, and 8. Set B has elements 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now, intersection means what is common. So what is common between those elements that are not found in A but in B? You find that the common element is 4. Therefore, our A complement intersection B is equals to 4. We continue. Question B is saying express as a single matrix. Express as a single matrix. We have 3 by 3 matrices. These are square matrices. Now, when you are looking at matrices, you have to know that rows are horizontal. The word horizontal means flat, and columns are vertical. Columns are upright like that. So when you are asked to express as a single matrix, what you are supposed to do is to know that you are supposed to take them row by column. Row by column. So we are going to start with the first row. Multiply the first entry times the first entry plus the second entry times the second entry plus the third entry times the third entry. When you finish using multiplying the first row by the first column, you continue just in the same row. You are going to take the first row times the second column. You are going to multiply and get the sums, and then you go to the first row times the third column. When you finish, that's when you go to the second row times the first column, second row times the second column, second row by the third column. Then that's when we'll go to the bottom. The third row times the first column, third row times the second column, third row times the third column. Let's do that. So we are saying 1 times -1 is giving us a -1. 4 times 2 is giving us 8. 0 times 0 is giving us 0. 1 times 4 is giving us a 4. 4 times 2 is giving us 8. 0 times this one is giving us a 0. 1 times 5 is giving us 5. 4 times 3 is giving us 12. 0 times -2 is giving us a 0. Then we go to the second row. 2 times -1 is giving us a -2. 1 times 2 is giving us a 2. 1 times 0 is giving us a 0. Now we go to the second row, second column. So we are saying 2 times 4 is giving us 8. 1 times 2 is giving us 2 plus 1 times 1 is giving us 1. We go to the second row, third column. So we are saying 2 times 5 is giving us 10. 1 times 3 is giving us a 3 plus 1 times -2 is giving us a -2. we go to the last row, first column. So we are saying 3 times -1 is giving us a -3. 2 times 2 is giving us a 4. 4 times 0 is giving us a 0. 3 times 4 is giving us 12. 2 times 2 is giving us a 4. 4 times 1 is giving us a 4. Then we have the third row, third column. 3 times 5 is giving us 15. 2 times 3 is giving us 6. 4 times -2 is giving us a -8. Then we can simplify. -1 times 8 is giving us a +7. 4 plus 8 is giving us 12. 5 plus 12 is giving us 17. -2 plus 2 is giving us a 0. 8 plus 2 is giving us 10 plus 1, 11. 10 plus 3 is giving us 13 minus 1 is giving us an 11. 11 plus -3, plus 4 is giving us a 1. 12 plus 4 is giving us 16, plus 4 is 20. 15 plus 6 is 21, minus 8 is 13. So that is how it's going to be when we express it as a singular matrix. We continue. Find an arithmetic progression 16. For an arithmetic progression 16, 25, 34, 43, 52, write down the next term. Write down the next term. So what you are supposed to do to find the common difference is to subtract the 5th term minus the 4th term, the 4th term minus the 3rd term, the 3rd term minus the 2nd term, the 2nd term minus the 1st term. The common difference will be the same. So our common difference will pick the 2nd term and the 1st term. So we have 25 minus 16, which is giving us a 9. So the difference was a 9. So for us to find the next term, we have to add 52 plus 9. Let's do that. So for our 6th term, we are saying 52 plus 9 is giving us a 61. That is our answer. Now find the nth term. For any arithmetic progression, the nth term, Tn, is equals to a plus, open your brackets, n minus 1, close your brackets, d, where a is the first term, n is the number of terms, and d is the common difference. So substitute. Our first term was 16. We don't know what n is. Our common difference was 9. Then we can expand. 9 times n will give us 9n. 9 times -1 will give us a -9, and then we'll group the like terms together. So we are having 16 minus 9, which is giving us a 7. 9n is equals to 7. That is our nth term. Question 9. A plane leaves a town P 0 degrees, 30 degrees at the latitude of 0 degrees, longitude 30 degrees west, and flies due east to a town Q 0 degrees, latitude 50 degrees east, longitude in 3 hours. The distance between P and Q is 4,800 nautical miles. Calculate its average speed. Now average speed is equals to distance covered over time taken. So after stating what average speed is, we can always substitute. Where there is total distance, we are going to put our 4,800 miles, and where there's our time taken, we'll substitute the 3 hours. What was the average speed? Divide 3 into 4, you get a 1. 3 into 18 will give us a 6. Therefore, our average speed was 1,600 knots. We continue. The question is saying, if the plane leaves P at 6 hours, what time will it arrive at Q? So we are supposed to understand that in every 1 hour, we cover 15 degrees. Now, the difference between P and Q is that P was on the western side and Q was on the eastern side. So the angular difference must be added because they were on opposite sides. So we are going to say our angular difference between P and Q is equals to, add 30 degrees plus 50 degrees, will get 80. Then we have to divide 15 into that so that we find the number of hours. So we are saying time difference was 5 hours, 1 1/3 hours. So we are going to change this 1/3 into minutes, which is going to give us 20 minutes, because 1/3 times 60 minutes is going to give us 20 minutes. So the timing difference was 5 hours 20 minutes. Now time at Q was 06 hours plus the difference in time. So the time at Q was 11:20 hours. Now it took 3 hours for the journey to be completed. It means we have to add 3 hours to 11:20 to find what time it arrived at Q. So time it will arrive at Q is equals to 11:20 hours plus the 3 hours for the journey. So it will be 14:20 hours. That's the time it's going to arrive at Q. We continue. Given that matrix A is equals to, the first row has entries 3, -1 and 0. The second row has -2, 1 and 3. The third row has 0, -1 and 2. Find M transpose. When they say find MT, this is a transpose. A transpose means make the rows into columns. As you are making the rows into columns, the columns will become rows. Let's do that. So instead of having 3, -1 and 0 in the first row, this one will be our first column. It will go down. Our second column will be -1 and 3. It will go down. 0, -1 and 2 will be our third column. So our M transpose will look like that. Our rows will become columns and our columns will become rows. We continue. Expand and simplify. We have open your bracket C plus 3, close your bracket squared. So it means multiply C plus 3 by itself twice. We are going to expand. If we multiply C times C, we are getting C squared. C times 3 is giving us 3C. 3 times C will give us a 3C. 3 times 3 will give us a 9. Let's do that. So if you simplify 3C plus 3C, these are like terms, they can be simplified. We are going to find that we are going to get C squared plus 3C plus 3C will give us 6C plus 9. Those cannot be simplified. We'll leave them like that. We continue. A box contains 5 green, 3 yellow, and 6 red beads of the same type. Find the probability of picking a yellow bead at random from the box. So when they say at random, it means it's not in any order. So when you are looking for a probability, you have to know that you have to find the favorable outcomes and the total possible outcomes. How many beads were in here? There were 5 plus 3, which is giving us 8, plus 6, which is giving us 14. Therefore, the total was 14. What are they looking for? They are looking for the yellow beads. What is the probability of picking a yellow? Yellow is 3. So our probability will be equals to favorable outcomes over total possible outcomes. We've already added 5 plus 3 plus 6, giving us 14 beads in the box. What is the favorable outcome for picking a yellow? 3. All total possible outcomes, 14. Therefore, the probability of picking a yellow is 3 over 14. We continue.